Okay, so let me start this whole the introduction part. I'll start. So again, I'll start with the basic definitions of this first economics, and then I'll move to the forest, and then we'll discuss what is forest economics in detail. So economics. First, you understand that what you people have written, that is the study of human needs and everything is there. That is also a good definition. But basically, the economics is a study of scarcity. That's the thing that one should understand, right? The study of scarcity. Why it is called a study of scarcity, that the things need to be understood here, because the definition you people have written that it is a study of human needs, that is study of human needs and satisfaction. This study of economic aspect and relation with the human needs, but at the end of the day it is a study of scarcity. Why it is called scarcity? Because humans has unlimited desire, unlimited wants, unlimited needs. But the next limitation, you have a resource. Whatever the resource that is available is limited, isn't it? Take example of land. Take an example of any other resource. Take an example of grain. Take an example of you can say that even the forest, right? So any object that a human need to satisfy his desire or his wants or his satisfaction, right? That resource is very limited, isn't it? Since that is limited but desire is unlimited, so how to meet that unlimited wants with the limited resource, right? So that's why it is a study of scarcity, because there is a less resource is scarce means less amount, isn't it? So that's why it is a study of scarcity. Why it is called study of scarcity? Because how we can allocate all those resource to meet the different kind of needs, right? Because almost all the resource that is available on the earth has a multiple use, isn't it? Take example of forest. Since we are studying forest economics, take example of forest, right? Forest has multiple use. Forest can you use for getting timber. Forest can use for getting other kind of medicinal plant. Forest can use for recreation. Forest can use for environmental improvement. Forest can use for this carbon sequestration, isn't it? So we have a source. This resource is limited. We have a limited amount of forest. Area is limited. Number of trees is there. But that particular thing has a multiple use, and if we compare with our needs, we have a multiple needs again. So how we can fulfill our needs with all this limited resource? That's what is called the study of scarcity. Have you get that? I hope people are able to understand this. Is it clear? This basic definition, economics is study of scarcity. Or is there any question? Right. So these things should be keep in mind while you're discussing the economics. Right. Now go to some other technical definition that we have. Let me get this pen first. Isn't so you have understand this economics is study of scarcity. But before moving further, is there any question from anyone from this particular definition of economics? Fine. Now go for this second definition that most of people already studied that it is a social science concerned with the production, distribution and consumption of goods and services, isn't it? Right, it is also related with this definition, particularly production, distribution and consumption, right? It's not so difficult to understand, because first is production is related to basically manufacturing. Production means you are making any raw material with a usable form, right? You have a certain raw material X. Now we are converting that X into certain useful form, or the object that has certain degree of utility, right? So as I told you, economics is related to the production. So again, these things you should keep in mind. Key resource is limited, and now we can allocate all these limited resource to produce different kind of object, right? So that's why it is a concerned with the production. Then after that, distribution, right? So here if you talk about the distributions, we have to distribute. See, distribution means people has a different level of demand, different level of satisfaction, isn't it? And distribution concern everything, their location, their desire, their satisfaction, everything. So how you are supposed to meet this distribution capacity and find the consumption of goods and services, that is easy to understand. How you supposed to use the particular resource. So that is some basic understanding of economics that you should keep in mind before you go into the depth of this subject, first economics, right? Why I'm talking about that? Because as I told you, first is limited, this is always keep in mind. So forest, since there is a scarcity of resource that you are getting from the forest, so that's why we have to study the economical aspect of that particular resource. So that's why this economics, first economics come into the picture, right? So if you look at there, generally this economics has been used for only those resources which is scarce. The resource that is in a very much or in abundance, there is no economics has to be used there, because demand supply gap can be easily matched. But if the resource is very scarce, then we have to meet the demand side also. So that's why we have to study, or we have to understand the proper allocation system to meet all those what you people have written, that that human needs or satisfaction, everything, right? So this is the basic understanding of economics, right? And through this, if you understand this, so through this, so whatever be the, either you are an individual or you are policy maker, right? What you are doing by understanding this definition, you are just trying to understand the relationship between the ends and the means. Means here, means this scarce resource I am talking about, right? So through understanding this definition, one should also try to understand the relationship between ends and scarce means, or you said the resource that I have told you. And why I'm talking about the relationship, because all these resource has a alternative uses or multiple use, you can say that. So this is all about the definition of economics. So is there any question if you are unable to understand anything here? So if any students any kind of question, you can ask. Fine. So now we go for this forest definition. Despite you people have studied lots of definition in different kind of book, and all the definitions are correct, right? I have I'm not supposed to go in detail that. So basically, I have just picked that definition that is going to suit this subject, isn't it? Despite lots of definitions are there, people have studied several definitions of this forest, and most of you even memorize it, right? So I am trying to concentrate, or I have just picked this definition, right? So that I can make you understand the subject matter properly, right? So let's go through this definition. We need to understand that. So forest is defined as an area set aside for the production of timber and other forest produce, or maintained under woody vegetation for certain indirect benefit which it provides, so now it is production of timber, right? Since our economics is very much related with the production that has been already discussed in the previous slide. So production of timber and other forest produce and maintain under OD vegetation for certain indirect benefits. See, this is also important because this indirect benefit is also produced by the forest itself. That's why I told you that we have a very limited forest area, and forest has an alternative use also there. First use is production of timber and other forest produce, and the second aspect for the same use is indirect benefits. Here indirect benefits, I am talking about this, um, for example, getting oxygen from the forest. These are the indirect benefit, isn't it? Either you can get a timber or you can go for this indirect benefit, isn't it? So if you match this definition with the economics concept, you can easily understand that what the first economics will be, isn't it? Economics is concerned with the scarce resource or the production, consumption, distribution. Similarly, and forest, the definition that I picked is also related with the production. So the production aspect has to be included when I'm talking about the economics. And similarly, we have to understand the scarcity. Why? See, several times I'm using the term scarcity because just for one reason that you should keep in mind always, that a forest has a multiple use. So since if a resource has a multiple use, so task is become very difficult for a decision maker or for a policy maker, how to make a proper distribution of those resources for consumption process, and how to raise the production level of that resource to meet the demand that is available in the market itself. So that's why I have taken this definition of forest here. I hope the thing is clear. Is there any question? So if you have any question from anyone, you can ask there properly. Fine. So now we should move to the definition of forest economics. Right? That one need to understand what is forest economics. What we understand by forest economics. Right? So again we go by the definition that is written, that studies the production, distribution and consumption of forest product and services. Right. In the very first slide you have studied the definition of economics, where this forest product is not included, but since we are studying the forest economic, the same all these basic function is same, production, distribution, consumption, only we are just peculiar about this forest product. Right. Forest product. This is the only difference between the definition of economics and forest economics. See, economics is a very vast subject. It is going to include every aspect of your life, every aspect of resource that is included in the economic subject. But since we are studying the forest economics, so the same, we are just narrowing the definition. Here we are just including only one resource, that is forest. It means the things we are getting from the forest itself, right? And the other definition that I have taken, that is given by Gregory in 1987, what I have already explained to you, is a branch of economics and of forestry that deals with allocating. Let's just look at a scarce resource among the competing means to satisfy human wants for forest product. So as I told you, allocating scarce resource, it means we have a very limited forest, right, and growing population. So since population is growing exponentially, and with respect to the growing population, we don't have uh, that much resource. So that is, and you have to fulfill all those population also. So that's why allocating scarce resource among competing means. Just look at it. Means competing means what? Competing means here is, as I told you, alternative uses. Right? Forest, you can get the timber. Forest, through you get the oxygen. Through the forest, you will get the water supply. Through the forest, soil conservation. So how we can allocate a single forest for all these competing uses? It means we need everything. We need timber also. We need water supply also there. We need certain mechanism for soil erosion. We need oxygen. Everything. So these are the competing means, and from that particular forest we need everything. So this forest economy is study of all those aspects, how we can allocate these resources for all these kind of means, and at the end of the day, why we are doing all this activity and all this exercise, it is just a kind of mental calculations, right? And why we are doing all those things, we are doing just for one purpose, to consumption means to satisfy human wants for forest product. So this is the definition of forest economics, right? I hope most of you are able to understand the basic concept here. You can ask a question properly. If you have any question in your mind, just raise the question. Is there any question from anyone? I hope the concept is simplified properly for all of you to understand, isn't it? So now if you have any question from all these three definitions, I have discussed with economics, I have discussed with you forest, then I have discussed the first economics. So if you have any question, you can ask. And when you are going to ask, specify the question. Is something like that, sir, samajh nahi aaya, can you repeat the last one? How should you understand that? You specify what the aspect that you are unable to understand, then I am going to explain it again. So Biswendra, is better if I specify what the things that I have to explain again. So better you unmute yourself and you can ask a question. So, sir, how do we allocate the already scarce resource? So that things we need to study. See, there are lots of economic principles that you will already studied that, isn't it? Different guides, different kinds of goods you have studied that. Public, private allocation, then public participation, private ownership, everything is there. So that's we will discuss all those things, right? How do you allocate the already resource is scarce? That things need to be discussed. Right. Then later on when the subject will move on, I will explain you every aspect that how the allocation can be done there, what the mechanism for that, what the methodology has to be used. That has to be discussed. I am just discussing what do you understand by forced economics. Have you get that, Vishwan? I will explain. The question you have asked is that let us discuss in the later on the subject, not today itself. There are lots of models, are there, lots of different mechanisms, lots of principles that you already studied in your introductory economics, right? And that principle has to be utilized for allocating all these resources. Is it okay? That I'll explain you, don't worry. Here that we have to understand what is forced economics. So the first, in a nutshell, you can say that is the study of allocating scarce resource among competing means to satisfy human wants for forest product. That's the nutshell, you can say the forced economics. And how the allocation has to be done there, the different economic principles has to be there, that we will discuss as per your syllabus later on, right? Is it okay, Bishwendra? Now we need to understand the forestry from an economic viewpoint. We need to understand that, so that you can understand the subject matter also, why you need to study the forest economics. Is it okay? So let me explain you one by one. As you know that, and you've already studied that, basically what kind of resource is called economic resource? Any idea? What kind of resource called economic resource? So those resource that we can use them, right? Research you are using that just to produce some goods and services which is supposed to meet the people uh, need. That is called economic resource. Have understand? Listen carefully, and then you can. What kind of resource is called economic resource? So basically, those resource that you can use, or individual or the firm can use to produce certain goods and services that people have intention to consume. So that is called economic resource. So in that aspect, one can easily understand that forests are economic resource, isn't it? Right? Why it is economic resource? Because obviously we can use the forest here. Forest means the resource that we are getting from the forest, right? It means we can also generate good and services from the forest. So that's why it is economic resource, isn't it? When you are going to combine some labor here with the forest, isn't it, you are able to produce certain consumer products. And you people know that what kind of consumer product that can be there. We can develop some housing things there, then we can have a pulp and paper, then we have a recreation things, outdoor recreation that can be done there, then you can use fuel wood, and this is the goods, because you can see that. But services means ecosystem services. Here you are getting oxygen, the carbon storage mechanism, isn't it? And there is a landscape beautification. So that's why forests are economic resource. Is it clear to all of you why it is called economic resource? Because this only understanding that you should have any things that you are using to produce goods and services, that is called economic resource, and that goods and services should satisfy the human needs, or those goods and services that people have intention to consume. So in that aspect, forests are economic resource, because whatever be the things that you are getting from the forest, if you are going to add some other factor of production, other factor of production means if you use some capital, if you use some labor, right, you are able to produce certain kind of product that people is going to consume. Example I have given you. Paper, for example, fuel wood, paper, pulp, and several other things that you people already understand that here. Is it okay? Clear it now? Okay, question? Any question from anyone? See, once you understand this fundamental, the whole subject will be very clear to all of you. So that's why I'm making this effort introduction rather than going directly to the syllabus. Okay. Now the second aspect that we need to understand from economy is judgment about economic performance. Right? How the judgment has to be made. Right? If some economic performance has been, so what the viewpoint related to the judgment. So here one thing that we all need to understand that all the judgment has to be made from the society, right, rather than individuals. That things need to be understood. Fine. All the judgment, whatever be the things, because before going to the detail, see, you have already reading in the newspaper, or you have already heard that somewhere that people are protesting this kind of information, or people are protesting if there is any forest has been allotted to the mining activity, isn't it? Despite all these activities, economic performance, if mining has to be done there, obviously some resource has to be channelized here, something raw material has to get there, isn't it? So despite this economic performance, but only the society has to judge whether that economic performance has economic advantage is there or not. Have you get that? That is the thing that one need to understand here. Why I'm talking about that? Because the individual interest is totally different from the whole society interest. Something an individual can like, but whole society is going to dislike it, right? Because if I industry owner, I am industry owner, obviously I'll try to fell all those trees just to get the timber so that I can maximize my revenue. But for the whole society, I don't think the whole society agree with me, because the society understanding society is getting some other resource from there itself, isn't it? So that's why this judgment about economic performance are just getting from the viewpoint of a society that need to be understand here itself, right? So this is one of the also economic viewpoint related to the forestry. Have you get this point also, all of you? Right. Now go for this another economic viewpoint related to forestry is manage forest for the maximum net gain or value to the society. This is just aspect of this first point here, that we all need to understand. All need, or if you already studied several subject during your BSc forestry, where you have studied that the broad purpose, right? Basically, the broad purpose of whole this forest management activity, right, is to produce the forest product. Okay, isn't it? Am I audible there properly? Right. So we are discussing this forestry from economic viewpoint, and there's 2 points are already discussed by me to all of you. Now the third point need to understand that here how the forestry has been seen by this economic aspect. So you just read the statement, then I'm going to discuss with you. Manage forest for maximum net gain or value to. So there is two aspect is there. Net gain is, it means revenue generation is there also, and value to society is there. It means we have to take into consideration the interest of society as a whole also. So first we need maximum net gain. So as I already told you, several subject. What is the subject you have studied there? Generally, all the subject has a simple motive. How to uh, how to produce more and more forest product, isn't it? So if more and more product will be there, so appropriately you are supposed to generate your revenue, isn't? Even if you go for the several literatures, whatever with the journals or some research has been conducted, so most of the literature has the same emphasis, right? Right, just the same as the production of maximum possible quantity of wood, and through this, if there is a more production will be there, so obviously more profit to the producer will be there. That's why you have already studied different mechanisms. You have studied the silviculture systems, isn't it? You are going to study the forest management aspect. So you wasted the forest economy, everything. So all these things have a simple motive, how to maximize the revenue. Is it okay? And as I told you, either you have any subject in the forestry or if literature is supposed to go there, there is all these letters also say that the purpose for this forest management is to maximize the production of wood, and if the production will be more, so obviously the producer has to be get more revenue, maximum net gain. This is the one aspect, right, of the forest management. Now go for the another aspect, as you have seen that, that is the social aspect. So how the social aspect has to be understood under this parameter, right? So so as a whole, see society, and before going to that, I think there are lots of other benefits that you are able to get from the forest apart from this timber or the wood. As a different, I told you, we are getting water supply, isn't it? You are getting oxygen from there. So these kind of this kind of production from the forest is going to meet the need of whole society. If you look at this maximum net gain aspect, so maximum net gain is going to fulfill the need of individual owners, right? or or the farm owners anyway. But if we talk about the value to the society. So here we are talking about the social benefits, and most of the social benefits may not have any price, isn't it? May not have any price. So and that is called, I told you, this ecosystem services. There are lots of product we are getting from the forest where there is no market for that. It means oxygen supply. You are getting several times this oxygen supply you are getting from the forest. Is there any market? Where are you supposed to sell that oxygen? Carbon storage capacity of the tree. Where are you supposed to sell that carbon storage capacity of the tree? There is no market at all. Water supply, soil erosion control. Soil erosion has been controlled by this forest, isn't it? Then I am saying this, lowering the pollution level. Is there any market for all these kind of services that you are getting from the forest? There is no price for that. So this is the value to society we are talking about. So whenever you are understanding the forestry, we have to understand all these important aspects, right? What is the economic resource? Obviously, yes, I've explained to you. Judgment has to be understand whether whatever the allocation is there, or whatever the use or utility of the forest is appropriate or not. So judgment can be done through the societal level. And finally, this the purpose for all these kind of forest management is maximum net gain, and second is the value to the society, right? So I hope you all have get this all these 3 points properly. Or if you have any question, any kind of queries, first you raise a question, right? And also I like to conclude the session here itself, and in the next session I'll move ahead with us again this introduction part. So now if you have any question from anyone.